My best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. I saw no shadow. I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt a glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven had found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body in Harvard above me. My best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go
alone. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average Angler podcast. Tonight, we're cracking LaCroix. You can't, that doesn't come through the mic.
Crack the lax. I know, I wish it did. I don't know what it is about, like, how do they make it so that your voice comes through the microphones crystal clear, and then any other sounds do not?
It's
how
like,
do they do that?
Well, it's like a pop filter. Like, it's popping them
incredible.
peas, cracking them croys.
I pop my peas, but my lax do not crack.
Your lax do not. Is it frequency?
Charles, I don't actually want to know the answer. Okay, I didn't want to know the answer.
Man.
This is extremely rhetorical.
You think I want to learn? Get out of here, nerd. All right. So speaking of nerds tonight, nerds, we are talking about trying out new techniques. So here's the thing I always think about. There have been many a time that a journeyman has come into our comments and has decided to enlighten us. Should we say, Paul, that green pumpkin Senkos are the only way to catch bass?
I heard those are dope.
I've also just heard, like, why wouldn't you use live worms? You dummy.
Block of wood. They'll eat anything.
Yeah, and then you go the other route. It's like, oh, bass will eat anything, man. Just put treble hooks on a block of wood. Go fish a Lego, whatever. And granted, sure, you could probably catch on those things. I hear you. What I'm interested in, and like the reason that the genesis of changing this channel to Aggressively Average Anglers was to force ourselves to get outside of our comfort zone and try these different techniques that exist out there. There's a million ways to catch a fish, a million. And you might have your go-to techniques right now. You might have your comfort zone, right? It could be like originally the Ned rig, right? And I barely fish the Ned anymore because there's so many other techniques that I've gotten a chance to try that are just so dang good at catching bass. Like, why would I resort to the Ned anymore unless I have to? And I definitely still use it a ton on the river. But that said, like, we want to know from you guys as well, just different techniques that you've stepped out of your comfort zone for, what you're trying. We're going to talk all about it today. Like, how do you go about doing this? And then some of the new techniques that we have recently tried and that we're going to try. We've got a lot on the table coming up in a very short amount of time because this season is almost up, Paul. I don't know if you know that. Do you realize that?
You're preaching to the choir, dog.
Did you know that time is a construct and that nothing?
No, time is very real and it is ticking.
It is. There's none of it. There is none of it, you guys. It's ridiculous. I wish there was a lot more time for real.
So it's September 27th, right at this moment.
We ain't got no time.
8:17 p.m. And the water temps are already creeping in below 70. 60s. Yeah. And really we're getting into the 60s. And it's like That is the line. Once you break 60, it's winter.
It's all downhill.
That's it.
From
It's
here.
winter. So
yeah,
ugh.
if we're lucky, we'll fish into early November. We've done that many a time. Usually, it comes with runny noses and 0 fish catches, but we just punish ourselves anyways. Hopefully, you guys do too. All right, so let's dive into it for today. We do have a Monster Bass gift card available at the end of the show to one lucky Schmiveaway winner. So we will roll that later on. It's for $25. Go to the website and appreciate Monster Bass for supporting us in that way. And then also just, shout outs to all you guys. Thanks for being here. We love you. Let's get into the Q&A. Let's kick this thing off. What do you say?
Are bachelor parties still cool or not?
Did you just change this? Because that wasn't the question.
13 seconds ago.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going
this.
on a bachelor party this weekend. And
Are you wondering for
there's
yourself?
A saga involved. Yeah. And I'll tell you this. I am 36, okay? Mm-hmm. And
I'm a
father. My idea of a cool bachelor party has changed wildly from what it was when I was 26. Yeah. Like, they are not the same. Yep. They are just not the same.
So you won't be lighting yourself on fire or exploding things.
No one's going to die. My preference for a bachelor party at this point...
People used to die. Got it.
Involves optional drinking, involves relaxation, also involves comedy, and certainly has to involve fishing. We're gonna we're gonna golf, then we're gonna drink, and then we're gonna drink, and then we're gonna continue to drink. So that'll be that's the whole day. That's the only thing we're doing on Friday. I have a little curveball for the drinking. Then Saturday, very early, 6:30 a.m. is the meetup time. We're going salmon fishing. Good luck on everyone getting on that boat. I'm not going to have a problem, but I am going to bring 40 frozen breakfast sandwiches because they're going to get eaten. So get ready. And I'll bring 1,300 gallons of coffee and a whole bunch of energy drinks. So then we're doing that. And then, Tom Gross says, what about strippers? I have zero desire to have strippers at this bachelor party. That does not sound good to me. This one does. The departures are gigantic, right?
Yeah.
Do not care. And that's all I want to do. That's pretty much it. But even the drinking, I'm not going to drink. I'll have a handful of beers, and I will bring 68 buzzballs. But I'm not going to drink any of them. 2 of them maybe.
The buzzballs are to torture people. I got it.
Yeah, and maybe some, maybe some gummies, and I'll just make my way through life. I don't want it to be a huge thing. I want it to be chill and fun and awesome. I do not need it to be insane. Someone said,
what about stripers?
Those can be involved. If they I will drive. We'll drive
strippers.
You know what?
Weirdo.
We'll drive for stripers. Should be my.
I will drive.
I will drive for stripers.
For stripers.
I think that's a T-shirt waiting to happen,
dude. It's so interesting. Stop making T-shirts unless we're gonna make graphics for these, because we have 40 T-shirt ideas and 3 available in the store.
I barely have time to sleep.
No, we do. I'm telling you, I've told you before. We just need to hire somebody to do the graphics. We don't have time for it. It'll never happen. It'll just never get done. So if we want to make shirts, we got to hire somebody to do the graphics. Period. And then we can send them all of our amazing ideas. And yes, I say amazing, with all caps, bold, underlined, italicized, highlighted in yellow. Amazing ideas. We'll have them make all our shirts. So I think it'll be a blast. We're going to do that. As for bachelor parties, I think it all depends. But I will say I've seen a lot of memes recently of bachelor parties in your 20s versus bachelor parties in your 30s.
Yes.
It's a different era, right?
It's embarrassing how much better the new ones are.
The new bachelor
the new version of a bachelor party is 10 times cooler than the old version.
Oh, it's so much more chill, and nobody's
what you used to do, you would just do that on the weekend anyway. So that's almost not even different.
It wasn't, yeah.
It wasn't really that different.
3 days
it's
a
not
row
cool at all.
2.
Yeah, it was okay, well, I did this for a whole weekend instead of most of the weekend. Right. I was okay, whatever. This is 10 times better. 10 times better.
Sure. Totally.
Personal, strong opinion.
Got it.
So I say our bachelor party's still cool. If they're like the old ones, overrated. If they're like the new ones, underrated.
Yeah, I would say it's fair. 100%. All right. let's get into the show meet, shall we? Shall we do it? What are you nodding at?
Tyler Duncan said, perfect bachelor party. Good food, shooting range trip, fishing, maybe some geeling. I don't know what that is. And lawn games and some casual drinking. I am
speak my language.
Dude, that sounds so good.
Paul's like,
grilling.
How do I cancel what we're
grilling
doing?
Honestly, the grilling can be optional for me.
Yeah.
If someone wants to do it, go nuts, my brother. But like, if you want to just order up 788 pounds of pizza, we can do that. I'm good. The food, I was like, give or take. I'll take it if it's there. If not, I'm fine. I prefer the lawn chair over almost any other accoutrement that are coming for that weekend.
Fair enough. All right. So let's talk new techniques, folks. Who here in chat has tried some new techniques? That's what I want to know. I want to know from you right now. What's new? What have you tried? Maybe what are you avoiding? You're like, oh, everybody's talking about this. I'll give you an example. Hover
the free rig. Hover rig.
You know, people are throwing these different things out there. Like, it's all new. I remember when Ike started. Do you remember the chicken rig? That was like 2 years ago.
I do.
Ike started talking about the chicken rig all the time, and then you got that live worm rig, and then it came
the INRI.
Yes, right. So that was haven't heard about that recently.
If you're listening to this, is you took a longer worm, like 7-inch worm, and you make an S shape out of it, and lay it on like a desk or something. You make an S shape. And then you take a straw,
very
and
thin.
you stick it all the way through like you were going to shish kebab it. And then you cut in between. So now there's just like holes with plastic in the worm. And then on one end you tie a knot, and the other end you don't tie a knot. And every time you reel it in, it looks like a snake slithering through the water. It's the most asinine rig that I've seen in a while.
About it? Have you heard about it in the last 2 months?
I would say year. It was last summer.
It was,
and it was 1 month. Everyone made a video about it, except for us. And then it never was talked about again. Now there are like JDM stuff, like JDM stuff. That's where I get this like, oh man, I really need to like check this thing out. Like the dense, like hairy cube. Like I'm still
You're like okay,
like that has to work. Like I know that works, right?
Maybe some poop baits.
Maybe some poop baits. You guys are gonna see some. We'll get there, but
there's like 4 videos coming, you guys.
Yeah, so the idea is like, and we've done this before.
Yeah.
Like we did this with spy baiting, right? New for us, not new to like the industry by any means in the last year or whatever, but new to us. And it was like we're gonna spend maybe 3-4 trips, and we're just gonna do that. I think BFS was a good example of this. Like.
Yeah,
it was like, we're going to try it. It's new. I mean, it's a little broad, but it's a technique. We're going to try it. And all of a sudden, it's like part of the repertoire now. Like, it's part of what I want to do.
We jumped straight in on that one. So, real quick.
Go ahead.
Chat's got some stuff out of here. What are they trying? What are they avoiding? So, Elliot said, trying drop shot. Welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Avoiding Carolina rig. Pond bank fishing. I hear you. Maybe go super light. There's a way to get
very weedless though. And the nice thing about Carolina rig is if you're picking a floating plastic,
if you downsize the weight, I think he's getting hung up on the weights. But if you downsize the weights, you could probably get away with that.
Sure. Yeah. And you could go free rig, and what's the difference between that and a Texas rig? Yeah. Almost nothing.
No cap. All right.
What? New words are not as cool as new bachelor parties. All right, just take that.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure that's what the kids are saying these days. Rocket Blade's got BFS big worms, the Hellraiser. Oh my gosh, I busted out the Hellraiser when we were on that trip this weekend. And I had. Oh no, I didn't tell you that. So Paul and I went fishing poop baits, like 99.9% repeating, of course, poop baits this last weekend, and we absolutely hammered them. There were minor amounts of catches on chatterbaits and buzzbaits. Pretty much everything else was poop, right? So Paul leaves. One
nice buzzbait.
Yeah, there was a nice buzzbait fish. So Paul leaves. I'm like, he got a buzzbait. I'm gonna throw the Hellraiser. So I grabbed the Hellraiser, and actually I caught on a glide bait too, the S waver, the small S waver. So I threw the glide bait. I was like, cool. I'll throw another bait that I like. Let's throw the Hellraiser because I'm at this point done for the day, just messing around. On my way out, right? Fish out. Everybody knows how that goes. Fishing out. That's like 14 hours. So I take the Hellraiser. Bomb cast this thing out there. I'm running it back to the boat, and a freaking giant fully misses it just breaches over the bait.
Oh, I
goes
love it when
back
they
in.
roll.
I know.
That is like
He's
a
like, and I was
yeah.
like, no. It
That's a
was
big
amazing.
tough.
Yeah.
That's really tough.
Still, it was fun. I had a super fun day regardless of that.
Yeah.
What else we got going on out here? Okay, so
Well-
Matthew Jones talking about the Inri said coffee stirrers work great too.
Instead of straws. Yeah, same concept.
But the question, Matthew, is anybody still fishing it? That's what I
No.
want to know. And
No.
also, yes, that was Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, got me. What else we got? The panorama. DeBurley says it's banging. I want it. I really do.
I'll go
wanna
buy
try
one
it.
right now.
Get like 2 different colors and sizes. Go big. Go 7-inch. It's the biggest in 9. It's like a
I'm on
579. All right, we're ordering that right now because DeBurley said they're banging. I want it. There's so many ways I want to rig that. Waitlist Carolina coming up this time of year, I think would be super killer. It's one of the ways to recommend rigging it. I want to know very
I'm
soon.
on it.
All right. But can you be on it, Fat? I'm kidding. What else we got, Jeff?
This is fun. Hanging out
Yeah.
with you is neat.
It always is.
All
Julie,
the small sizes are sold out, guys.
of
I'm
course,
gonna go
because
on
everybody's
T-dubs.
scared. Don't be scared. Get
Yeah,
the
don't be
7.
cowards.
Julie wants to try the panorama as well, so that's rad. What else you guys got going on? Want to get better at crankbaits. Jason Jones, I feel you, dude. Like, same thing. It's just I need it to be more of a confidence bait than it is. It just isn't. It's something I need to absolutely work on. 505 fishing, the Yamatanuki. That was I'm like spoiling the video, but that bait, phenomenal bait. Out of all the poop baits, one of my faves for sure.
I am shocked right now. It is.
Are they out everywhere?
It's sold out everywhere on the
Alright.
small size. I'll get the big one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go to Cabela's. Tack Warehouse completely sold out of small. 6cents.com completely sold out of
That's the
small
5-inch.
sizes.
5 inches
Both
is
of them.
small.
Both small sizes.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're gonna figure it out.
There's one. Dang it, Cabela's. There's like one
Always let me
clear
down.
water shad in the 5-inch.
I was just gonna ask DeBurley how he's rigging it. He said Texas rig and shaky. Shaky. Okay. Shaky head has been deadly. That is so. I just want to put that thing on a shaky head now and just see it. That's so weird in my
What
head.
hook are you using?
It's it's got to be a pretty big shaky head.
It's gonna be a monster.
4-aught.
No, bigger. It's like
Maybe
for
he's
a
throwing
six-
the 5-inch or the smaller.
Oh, if he's
one on
small,
there.
yeah.
I think it's fine. Anyways, what Daniel Pierce says, just jumping in. Welcome, brother. Love throwing something I've never thrown this time of year. Excited to hear new ideas on this topic. All right, so let's get into some ideas then. Let's dive right in. Paul will shop later. I'll order them later. Don't worry about it. So how do you get into this? Because this is the difficult thing that we started out with before we switched the name to AAA. What we struggled with, and Paul, you tell me if I'm wrong here.
You're wrong.
All right, cool. So carrying on with the rest of the show, we would get out to the water. We just want to catch fish. So what do you do when you want to catch fish? You automatically grab your confidence baits, right? That's the go-to. You're like, okay, well, I know I'll catch on this, so I'm not going to do this. And then we'd start trying to challenge ourselves. Do you remember this? And we'd start going like, let's bring those with us. Let's bring this medium bait caster, right? When you started falling in love with the medium setup. Or let's bring out the swim bait rod. Last year was like a big one, and let's just force ourselves to throw it. And then it was a struggle at first, but then there's a few times we'd catch on these new rigs. For me, last year it was like Carolina rig, free rig banged out, swim baits, right? Glide baits, all those things. I started catching on these things, and when you got a catch, it was just like, yes, like a light bulb moment. It was really rewarding, I would say. So then you start to like chase that same kind of high. We know how fishing goes. It's never enough. You can have like biggest catch of the day and you're just like, today was fine. Like at the end of the day, it's like nothing happens. I just want to be out there the whole time if I could be. So where do we start with this, right? Research.
Yeah,
Paul,
that's
you're a head researcher at
I'm head of
AAA
R&D at
LLC.
AAA Anglers. So it is though. It
It's so true.
It sets the stage. Like it's so you think like and
Yep.
the poop baits is a prime example. You think you know.
nothing.
You're like, oh, I know. I think I know what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And then you actually, without doing any research, you get out there and you realize like, oh, I don't even have the right stick, or my line setup is jacked, and it's really preventing me from doing what I need to do. Or you're just fishing it in the wrong way or spot. Like the
Right.
poop baits, I never would have assumed that they would be most generally a solid flipping bait. Not ever.
Right.
Even reading the
Yeah.
package, that's the last thing I would have picked.
I would say
And I
before
never
reading the package, when you look at it, you're like, do I rig this wait list? Like it doesn't
no,
seem
you don't
heavy
know.
when you first
You
see
just
it. You're like, it's a hunk
it's
of
so
plastic.
far outside of your mental like Rolodex of baits that it just
Yeah.
does not compute,
another
and you're gonna
planet.
do it wrong. And
Yep.
so yeah, doing the research helps you pick the setup. So that's rod,
Mhm.
reel, like retrieve speed would have been great to know to have an 8 speed
Higher retrieve.
with
Yeah.
the poop. So there's just like and you guys all see this in the video, so I'm sorry for referencing it, but it just happened. So I just
Yeah.
think
It'll be
you
out next
gotta
week.
really do a little research, right? Spy baiting made all the difference in the world. The line setup alone
my
was
gosh.
a game changer.
We would
Like
never caught. We would have
I had
never caught.
I had a 12-foot, 4-pound leader. Not on any planet would I
Yeah.
have picked that for
Yeah.
that setup. So
Yeah.
it really makes a difference. The next thing is have multiple setups. Now that could mean, for me, that means have at least 2 or 3 setups that you're going to fish this technique with. So
Yeah.
if it's like a flipping setup, have a super long one, have a shorter one, like for close range work, like have them on deck so that you can do whatever you need to do.
Yep.
Right? Don't just have one, because it's going to come down to
You're gonna get mad.
you're going to get mad and you're going to try and move away. Don't give yourself the out. Have a couple ready. Like this panorama, we were just talking about it. It comes in 3 different sizes. If you can get all 3, get all 3.
Rig it
Try
3
all
ways.
3, have them up and be like, okay, the big one's not working. I'm just not feeling it. Go to the small one, catch a couple fish. Okay, I'm going to try the 5-inch now, right? And just be ready for all those scenarios, right? So if it's crankbaits, have a super long bomb caster, have a shorter standard setup, like have the jerkbait style setup, like
Your
just be
shallow
ready.
bill to deep bill.
Just be ready.
setups. Yeah.
The next thing is home turf. Now this
hang
for
on.
me.
Before
Go ahead.
we dive into that, I want to throw in on research. Now, here's an important thing. When you're doing the research, when it comes to the technique, look to those who know, right? Like we lean on a few people constantly. You got your Wired to Fish, you got your Tactical Bass, and then you got like your homies that just get it. So we might reach out to them.
Psychopaths, lunatics, people who are unhinged, like people who are so obsessed and get so deep with this stuff that like they're not, they are the people. Like people would come to us for Ned Rig advice, and it's just because I am remotely unhinged, and it's like I would fish that bait in scenarios when no one else would, and it's like the only thing I did for years.
But there's also a bunch of people way more informative,
100%,
especially
like
on that,
ultralight. I would
everything.
go to go into like Bait Finesse Empire, would be going to like certifiable.
You talk to Amir, you talk to Rar, you talk to
like these people are like
Ethan.
they don't think about anything else. They don't do anything else. Like
thrive.
that's it.
Those BFE guys for our BFS advice have been amazing,
and they're all broken in the best way possible. Like they're not gonna go out with a heavy stick. They are gonna go out and they are just gonna do that forever. And so those are the people you want to really get keyed in on.
But I'll also say, like, once you get past the technique and people start talking brands, like, just know who you're watching. That's all I will say. Like, make sure that it's somebody you trust with that advice, somebody who's trying to bring an authentic approach to it versus being like, yeah, just buy this one. For example, the poop baits. There's a bunch of different brands offering these. Some they all kind of have like their own slight innovation. I haven't tested out the Missile Baits Bomba yet. We'll talk about it later. But I tested out with Ball 5 of the other brands, and they are vastly different in like fun, unique, interesting ways, and then sometimes in really bad ways. So it just helps if you have somebody who's being honest about it and maybe representing more than one brand, even if it's not a brand that they work with. Like we try to do that as much as we can. Just hey, this isn't like our thing that we usually fish, but if you put these two head to head, like check this out. This brand is crushing it. This one's maybe not where we want it to be, right?
So there's a couple people talking about the poop babes. Just can't get into them. Has Do It Mold come out with one yet?
No.
It felt like poop babes were a bad idea. Some guy made it up with his own mold, DIY mold. Okay, there's a couple of things that we really need to be super clear with the poop baits on. For those who are not familiar, the poop baits are turd-shaped baits. They look just like turds. They're even most of them are colored turdish.
They're called
They-
heavy or gravity baits, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the technical
we
terminology.
need to start calling them gravity baits. It's just too much fun to call them poop baits. 'Cause we're
Gravity.
7.
Yeah.
So the reason, the idea behind this technique, you guys, is you rig this turd. It's like a 4 or 5 inch bait.
Mhm.
You rig it weightless, and with an EWG hook, so like a Texas style, no weight setup. You are going
Yep.
to cast it. You can cast it anywhere, wherever you think fish are. But when it falls, it's falling extremely slow. Some of them have a scissor. Some of them just go straight down,
Yeah.
and they fall real slow, and they fall perfectly horizontally.
Well,
I'm not joking.
All right, so it's kind of more like this, actually. If
It's
you
a
watch
wavy.
the
Jeff's making a
Bamba
motion
is
with his
like-
hand. They can shimmy.
For those listening,
Some of
it's a
them shimmy.
teeter-totter.
Some
Yeah.
of them slide a little bit and like glide
Yeah.
a bit. Some of them just go straight down. But it's just a slow fall, and it's very horizontal. Even when you cut the bait in half, it's still horizontal. It's amazing.
Mhm.
And when these things fall, they get to the bottom, and you have to run this on a slack line so that it can
Mhm.
fall naturally. And then in flipping, you're just kind of twitching it in the same spot. When you're in open water, you run it like a Texas string. Bring it back up to the top, get a big draw, reel it in 3 or 4 feet, and then just let it scissor down again. And you're just getting monster bites. It definitely works. And here's the thing about I bring this up with these comments because someone was like, oh, someone just DIY'd, and like, it's not about the shape that much. It really doesn't seem like it's about the shape that much. It's about the action on the fall and that horizontal
the
drop.
balance
And
and
it's
the
the
weight.
And you know what? If Do It came up with a mold, it really wouldn't help you. A regular plastic cannot do what those baits are doing. The density
to
and
weight
the type of plastic, it's actually what makes this work so well. So you making that, unless you're gonna be pretty good at making plastics and you're gonna salt them up in a way that's
And
really gonna be
science.
effective and like make it
Yeah.
balanced so that the salt is perfectly evenly mixed, it's not gonna be what you want. So I really think, like, one, I understand now the technique, and two, it's pretty nuts that someone was like,
Yeah.
I know that there's a joke here, I see it, but like it definitely was like, it's well thought out, and it's amazing how well it worked. It's just a JDM technique that's just hitting us for the first time.
I think Paul in the
I know.
comments
Yeah.
has said that if Z-Man baits melted all together, you get that clump, but that would float.
Yeah.
So
It wouldn't work at all. It'd be a top water, floater, and you
Top
wouldn't be able
water
to flush it
clump.
down. So
just like some
I don't know.
monstrous amalgamation of baits.
Yeah.
All right. So all great points, and we'll get back to that stuff here in just a second. So we were talking like, where do you want to test this out? And you were saying home turf.
I'm saying home turf. Like, when I go to test
100%.
something new, I want to be at my most comfortable
Best
place
chance.
where I know exactly
Yeah.
where the fish are, where I know the water, I know the depth, I know the people that live on the lake. Like, I'm going in ideal conditions. I'm not going on a garbage day. I want to go like semi sunny day when maybe a couple days post rain and no cold front coming in or anything. Like, I need to go on a normal day, and I need to go in a place where I know I have a lot of confidence. I mean, it kind of makes sense though when you like. You don't have to think about it that hard. You want to take all the elements that are going to frustrate you out as quickly as possible. Like, you don't want the rain to throw you off. You don't want like a 15-mile-per-hour wind throwing you off. You don't want to be waste your time searching for fish. You want to generally know where they are.
Yeah.
That allows you to like have the confidence, right? When you fish it, is it working the way it's supposed to, or is it not? Because the fish are there, you should be getting bites, and it just quickly gets you testing just the bait.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like we've talked about this before. If we're trying something new, I'm going to my lake. We're going to your lake. Like, if we're going, there's 2 lakes in
a lake that
particular.
we've fished a bunch of times where we know there's big fish.
Million times, and we know where to go. So we don't have to waste time, right? Like, and if we can get this bait to work there, we can learn a lot about it. So like, going to Paul's Lake the past 2 weeks, I fished basically nothing but these gravity baits, and it taught me a lot about it. Like, there's a lot of not as much as like certain rigs. It's not that hard. So don't let me fool you there. I'm not a genius. I figured it out. You guys figured it out. But I learned a lot about like what was working, what wasn't. And I know that lake is like great for it. And I might go to a brand new body of water and then I'm going to try it. But I've learned enough about it at this point and like how to fish it that I would feel pretty confident, pretty comfortable doing that. Now, that's not always true with all these techniques. I still feel terrible about spy baits. I've caught a fish on it. Yay. And I learned a lot about it. I just haven't fished it enough to call it a confidence bait. But if we start putting some fish on it this fall, maybe.
Well, we fished in a really difficult time. If you threw a spy bait in the water right now, I think you'd be slapping them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you why in 2 bullet points, I can tell you why. When we hit the next 2, I'll tell you. I have a great example of that.
Okay, and then so I'll just hit this real quick. Matthew Jones asks, do poop baits skip well if you're fishing from the bank?
Extremely well.
It's interesting. You got a good chance at the bank. Up on a boat, you have to get a really low angle because they bounce. Like, it'll bounce high. So if you're going to skip under a dock, you have to come in really low on that skip because it'll just hit the water and then hop up on top of the dock. And that's an interesting, fun thing to deal with. But yeah, they will skip. I mean, kind of like a buzzbait will skip, like a big voluminous thing. You can just like
I think they skipped. I thought they were pretty easy. I mean, compared to a lot of other plastics, not a lot of drag. It's pretty easy.
No, there isn't. It's the opposite of drag, which is why they bounce. So you got to keep that low. But yeah, so interesting stuff. I would say challenge you. Go get some and try it.
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
So
go get some and try it. All right, let's move on.
If you're testing out, like the next thing is just this is like a approach your day understanding that you're in a learning mode. Like, do not go into your day being like, I'm gonna knock them dead. The free rig's perfect or whatever it is. Like, do not approach it like that. You know, understand you're gonna watch what the bait does. You're gonna take your time. You're gonna get hung up. You're gonna struggle like to do this efficiently and easily. Just be prepared to lose a couple baits, right? Like that's just what you're gonna do today. Like that is your mission, is to learn about how the thing is working. That transitions me into my next one, which is electronics. Like if I were alone learning about a technique, I would grab the big kayak and I would grab my forward-facing sonar. I'm not saying that everyone should go do that to try a new bait. I'm saying bring all the tools possible because you're getting more information. So I just have a basic graph on my new kayak setup, like very basic. But I would know, at least I know, okay, there's a lot of weeds here, right? Yeah. So I'm not gonna do the super heavy treble bait today because that's a horrible place to test this, right? Yeah. Am I in 15 feet of water or 7 feet of water? Like you don't have to have forward-facing sonar, but if you had it, don't grab the basic one, grab the other one. And this is where spy baits paid off. Like this is how we knew. I felt really confident in the spy bait game because when we cast out, I could see it on sonar and I could watch my retrieve. And I was like, I'm reeling way too fast. And we could slow down. I'm like, okay, that thing is literally crawling 2 feet off the weeds. And I knew it was in the right spot. And then I could see fish come check it out. I'm like, okay, I'm at least onto something here. That made it. In glide baits, electronics is a forward-facing sonar is a game changer if you're trying to do big glides. Because you can see
watch them come
all
in.
The friggin' follows. Yeah. Like it's a game changer. So I'm not saying everyone should go get forward-facing sonar. It's the best thing ever. But if you have that level of electronics, use that level. If you have a basic sonar, turn it on. For the love of God, if you're trying to new bait, like get all of the advantages that you can. Yeah.
Know where you're at, know your depth, know your charts on your lakes at the bare minimum, like know your spots.
Any advantage, advantage.
So because again, like you're going to learn about fish behaviors, you're going to learn about retrieve, you're going to learn about like action, you're going to learn all those things. And you have to give yourself that opportunity of learning with some easy, quick wins. To
confidence,
keep the energy
baby.
And the confidence going for the whole day.
Get the vibes. So, you got to get the vibes rolling. The vibes need to be tropical.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, make sure you give yourself that opportunity. So let's get into some baits that we're testing out, that we're getting into. We already talked about poop, probably to enough
the gravity baits, if you will.
Yep. So these gravity baits, we've got a couple videos. I did an unboxing. I had to do like a weird cut on this unboxing because the Missile Baits Bombas didn't come into stock until October 5th.
We had
but
5
I got
of them
shipped
right?
early.
We had the Yamatanuki.
There's 6.
We
fished 5.
But we had 5. We had
I'm fishing the 6th one this weekend though. So I will add
Spro Nugget. We had the G Crack. We had the what else do we have? We had the
depths cover
the Arrow heavy
Fish Arrow heavy poop and the Yamanuki. So that's 5. So we tried all those in colors that were good for the water we were fishing, which was like 5 to 6 foot clarity. Like that lake is super clear. There's a slight tinge of stain to it at best, but very clear water, right? So we're out here fishing this water, and we had a bunch of green pumpkin kind of mixes, and then the Yamanuki was actually a sexy shad, which was kind of a banger of a color.
It was weak though. It was like it was silver with a little bit of green. It was like
it was a clear water special. It was just all natural patterns.
Was.
Just picture natural patterns, right? So know your water. We knew the water. We knew the clarity because I had fished it the week before, and it's typically this way, like year round, right? So we go to that water with confidence, and we decided to bring 5 different brands, right? Because another thing you can do as you're getting into this is like, don't settle on just one brand. You want to figure out like not only the technique, but like a brand that works for you or a brand you prefer over other ones. In this case, we learned a lot about these brands. We learned what we would never buy again, and we talked about it in that video. And we learned some things that like I'm gonna be stocking up on a few of those things for later on. And then, like Paul said earlier, maybe get a couple different sizes if you can. Now, gravity baits are not cheap, so I'm not advocating for that fully for you guys. And if you were getting into spy baits, buying 3 spy baits is gonna run you $60 almost, depending on what brands you buy from. But it's something to consider. You know, and maybe go in on it with a buddy. That's what I do. Paul's like, I'll buy these, you buy those. There you go. We split it. And that makes it a little bit easier for us. So I'd recommend that. Get your fishing pals. So anyways, we talked about that. Let's talk about like another bait. Here's one I threw at you that I'm going to go pick up the terminal for this. I just haven't done it yet. But hover baits, which is funny because it's similar in action to the poop baits in terms of a horizontal presentation. Yeah. Right. But different in that it's like a jig head with a finesse worm or a drop shot bait on it. But
it's rigged. It's rigged like a tube almost.
Yeah. Right. Like you insert the jig kind of a little bit lower than you would a Texas rig from the top. And then you just punch the jig head back in. So it's like fully concealed in the bait, which is interesting to me. But that's the fact that you can use drop shot baits is really interesting to me too.
That's really what you're doing is you're using small
it's a finesse
bait fish profiles and
I bet it freaking bangs.
It's really vertical. It's pretty vertical from my understanding. And it's
vertical fishing.
Yep, and it's going to be spinning rigs.
Yep. 100%.
I'll tell you why I'm not excited about it is because it really seems like until you get the hang of how it's going to feel, it's going to be very electronics dependent, and I'm kind of not. I know it doesn't sound like fun right now. But I'm sure, like, and I would also like you could also go the Demiki route, and I feel like you'd catch just as many fish,
and it'd be more jig fun, right? Like
way more fun. And again, I'm not done it, so for what it's worth, that's why I'm less excited about hover strolling. That being said, BFE has some hover strolling. Actually, is coming out with a plastic that mimics hover strolling. There's a single hook on top, and then there's a 2 treble hook on bottom,
pre-rigged,
and it's a hard plastic that runs just like a hover rig. Yeah, it's very cool. So Amir texted it to me on the side, and I was like, I'm ready to test it. Pretty cool.
Amir, so that one's from DMs with the finesse.
He did. So that one's from Temco, just like the rats that we got.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's going to be of the utmost quality.
It's going to be legit. What's this next one you got on here? What do you mean by
soft jerk baits?
Flukes?
So I texted you about this. So someone messaged me a version of a gravity bait, and it looks like a thinner gravity bait, but it still has the same generic.
Oh, it's the same kind of plastic though.
Soupy looking turd, and but it's a little smaller, a little thinner. And it actually is meant to run like a jerk bait. You cast it out, you let it fall to whatever depth you want, and you twitch it on its way. You twitch it on its way back. It's
it's a JDM. What brand is it? JDM, right?
Yeah, it's in my text to you. You have to go back and look for it. But yeah, it's meant to be run like a jerk bait.
Quit texting me.
It's super
OSP.
Yeah. So pretty wild. It would be it would be fun to try, I think.
Hang on, you guys. All right. You want to know the text that came in before Paul texted me about this bait? Chat, can you guess what Paul texted me? Right before he was like, oh dude,
I know exactly what I texted you. It's related to the bachelor party.
The one right before, check out this OSP lure is the first one before that is I won a Blastoise on eBay for $30. I'm happier than I've ever been.
It's a hollow near mint.
Near mint.
Yeah, original base set.
Not second. Yep. And then like way later you texted me, I'm trying to find it. My last message to Haley.
That's my wife. My wife's name is Haley.
Don't panic, but I bought 13 plastic swords from Amazon.
And the last of them just arrived tonight.
This is the variety in the texting is real, you guys.
The vibes on our chat are very tropical.
I love it. All right, so I love the idea. So this is the OSP. It's like a miniature, thinner kind of profile poop bait,
but still just a gravity bait looking bait. Yep. I mean, but it looks really cool. It looks really cool, and it's just a good idea. I mean, it you could just tell like JDM World is playing around with the dense plastics, right? You're seeing the cube. I think is a great example of that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the
hype is real.
Number twos are real.
Number two is number one.
And number two is number one. And now you're seeing them. And okay, I have Venus Fern Charizard, and then they are coming back, right? So they're working them like a jerkbait. So it's pretty cool.
Cool. So I am with you. I'm excited to try that out. We're gonna have to order that soon. So this next one, ultralight jerkbaits and walking baits. So BFS. You're talking specifically one that we need to try for an upcoming video, which is now going to be like 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
6 months out. So I went out about a month and a half ago and bought one of each of the new Megabass brand BFS Bait Finesse System baits. So they're getting into the market. They have 2 crankbaits, which I grabbed. They have 2 different jerkbaits, which I grabbed, and then they have a Pop Max Junior, which I grabbed, and then they have a walking bait. But I've seen a few. I'm stoked
about it.
I have 3 walking baits, and they're all around 2 inches or less, 1.8 inches, I think, which is really small. I mean, that's like your pinky, right? That's a small bait. And then also got the jerk baits, and those are all about the same length. Couple sinking, couple suspending, and they look really good. They look like legit. I have one that's got like the humpback kind of whale version, and I have the other one that's like your traditional long jerkbait.
Yep.
They look amazing. I can't wait to try them out, and I have a couple of cheap ones too to like put up against the expensive ones. So,
I also have the Euro tackle jerkbaits.
Yes.
So
that. We have a couple, and I really want to. I'm so excited to try those because like a topwater walking bait, like. Does it matter? Is that enough action for it to matter? I don't know.
For sure.
I want to try it super bad. I just don't know how it's actually going to be executed in the water. Like, is it just going to be like?
I think it's going to be good.
You know, I'm hoping it's going to be great. I just don't know, right? Good. So I'm really excited to try those.
Megabass only disappoints me in the durability of their dark sleepers and their overall cost.
That was because they disappoint you in the pocketbook. That's what
the cost, but the dark sleeper, bro. Like we just got those downsized dark sleepers. First catch, like ripped the top fin off, just totally shredded this thing. We had a good thing in chat here I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so Troy White. Yeah, well, he was asking about the reel. So Troy White picking up a Dobbin Sierra BFS ultralight rod. That's what I have. Rod. That's what Ethan told me to get, and Ethan knows his stuff, and he was right. It's a fantastic rod. The only thing I hate about it is the hook keeper is the worst type of hook keeper that has ever been in the game, period, bar none. It sucks. But the rest of the rod, fantastic, so it doesn't really matter. Get over it, me. And then we have the reel, though. He was saying, I might do the Shimano Corrado. I was going to say, don't. Because honestly, there are many, many other reels at that price point or even lower or just above that price point that are way better. Like just
at BFS, not at BFS. Quality, not engineering, not just
We're not
at
saying that.
throwing
We're just saying
lighter weights, at throwing
you-
lighter BFS stuff.
If you want to do BFS things with BFS, it's not the reel I'm recommending.
Get the Dark Wolf Ultra to start,
Yeah.
especially if you've not done it and you don't know what you're, you know, like whether you're going to love it or not. Get the Dark Wolf Ultra. It'll last you a long time. You can grow into it. It throws a lot of light stuff. It will last, but it's going to feel really light and maybe a little cheesy right up until you cast it. And you're going to be like, holy, this is really nice. I'm a big fan. Way better than the Zephyr. You'll be so much happier than you will be with the Zephyr. Now, I like the Zephyr.
Astronomically.
I do recommend if you buy a Zephyr, spend the extra $20 and get the Roro bearing kit for it. You will be very happy. I promise you will be happy. The Dark Wolf Ultra's complete package. Go ahead and go get it. It'll throw all the way down to 132 without a problem. You'll be much happier.
And then you could look slightly above that range where
in
you
a
get
year
to the
or whatever.
Well, he's looking at a Dobbins Sierra. Like, it's not a cheap rod. $180. Like, if you're going all in, if you were willing to do the Corrado, you might look at the Daiwa Salamandura. You might look at a few other reels that are coming out, like the Arc BFS is coming out.
The Arc BFS is a much better for a more expensive. But
it's built on a successful pre-existing reel. Like, so we know the reel will be good. We know we're not just guessing here. We know it will be good. I own it. I just don't have it yet. Hopefully I get it very soon. Because I
Kestrel, no. Do not buy the Kestrel.
Don't buy the Kestrel.
The Kestrel, in my opinion, having used Jeff's a handful of times, like back to back, I would say
swapped a bunch. Yeah,
I would say the Kestrel is a nicer feeling BFS reel. It's smaller, way lighter, and it's very high quality. You're just gonna not be happy with the weights that it can manage. The braking, the magnets are too strong. It's going to prevent you from throwing the weights that you want. It's great for frogging BFS. It's great for lights, but not ultra lights. So the Dark Wolf, be much happier with. The Daiwa Salamandura is probably the nicest reel I own. The nicest bait casting reel that I own. It's the Daiwa Salamandura.
You got it for
200. Yeah, it's gonna be $280 by the time you get it to your house.
Okay.
It's not cheap.
So I like the idea though of the Corrado and the Kestrel being used for light BFS, we'll call it.
Love it. It's so much fun to frog. It's friggin' blast.
I've told you that's what I want to do, man. I want to kick the Zephyr off my Shimano Sensolite or get a different rod, get like a light rod, and then put the Corrado on that. And I want to throw up to 1/4 ounce weights on it. Like, that's where I want to go. I would use that for those light purposes and definitely frogging. But yeah, if you want like true BFS, you're going to have to go with a different reel. Just that's from use, our recommendation. And that's, you could upgrade them. You could throw Aurora.
You can get away with it. Just you're going to be mad that it doesn't get down to the right range. I've heard a lot of people say the SLX is pretty solid. I've heard a lot of people say the Scorpion is solid. But everyone says the Corrado is great, and I don't think it's that great. I think it's overrated. It's extremely high quality, but it can't get down to true BFS.
Burly's furiously typing on Amazon. Got it. All right. So
switching out the spool on a Corrado is insane. You spent over $200, close to $250 for the reel. Then you're going to spend another $90 to make it not as good as the Salamandura. Get the Salamandura for $240, $260, and sleep like a baby. It's much more high quality. And I'm telling you right now, that Daiwa Salamandura is a nicer reel. Just period on every level than the Corrado. The Corrado's great. It's just not as good. Like Jeff, you've handled it. What do you think?
No, that's my opinion, man. Like, it's great for light. It is terrible for ultralight. I'm never happy with it with ultralight purposes.
A lot of things will beat the lose BFS. I'm not used to
I was going to call that out. Matthew Jones just called out
for that.
For $200 for somebody who does not specialize in ultralight, like, it's just
nervous,
not
man.
I'm looking at.
The Kestrel rods,
and maybe it's great, but like I don't know.
The Kestrel rods were nice. Matt was asking about them, the BFS ones, the ultralight ones. They were nice. I had the feather light spinning, and I shattered it casting it. Now, granted, I might have nicked it with the jig, but it's so fine. I'd have a hard time recommending it to people because if it's that easy to break, I broke it after 10 casts.
Yeah.
If it's that easy to break, anything above the Featherlight, I would recommend it. Very nice
I was just gonna
quality,
say.
very comfortable. Just stay away from the Featherlight, please.
So I have the Kestrel Ultralight spinning model.
Yeah,
And
Phoenix
I've been
Feather
using
Photos.
that. I'm not a fan of the Kestrel, I'm not a fan of Kestrel. The Zephyr spinning reel, I wasn't a huge fan of. I think it's all right. For $70, I'm not spending that money on that 10 times out of 10. But the ultralight Kestrel rod, for the price too, I think they're $80.
They're
Right?
$90.
90, 89.99. Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's pretty killer. It's a pretty good rod. Now I'm with Paul though. Like, if he shattered that Featherlight, I'm wondering what it's going to take to break this ultralight. So far, I've been happy
it's
with
just
it.
the thinness of it. It's so thin, and I've had
It was
salmon.
a freak
I've had
accident, I think.
it was, and I've had salmon rods like that before.
Yeah.
I've shattered them just casting them too hard because the
Sure.
tips are just so thin, and it's
User
graphite,
error,
and
you
it's
guys.
just yeah. I mean, I'm willing to say it, but at the same time, like I'm not a novice. Like I've casted a million times ultralight, and it's just if it's that easy to break, like
Yeah,
I don't know if I can
what?
recommend it.
I cannot recommend the Featherlight because you destroyed yours. But what I can say is, like, if you're looking for a decent one, you could check that out for the same price. There is an aggressively average angler's rod that will be available for pre-sale, allegedly, according to Rick. He's supposed to get us graphics or something at a website this week.
He needs to make the tag.
Yeah, so it's literally down to like the last stage.
Bull crap.
But yeah, we should have a link for you guys. I promise we will get that out very, very soon.
We told Rick, we had a phone call with Rick. We basically said, do whatever you have to do to get
make it
100 of them here.
Yeah. Yep.
Get them
We just
here.
want to do a pre-sale.
Just get them here.
If we only sold 100 and then they never made them again, like I'd be okay with that. But like at least like with our name on it, maybe just 100, and then we'll figure it out. So we'll make those available. They might be a very limited release, just heads up. So we'll see what's to come with that. But I'm hoping very, very soon we can pump those out, and maybe we get an extra one for ourselves that we could possibly give away. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an
Matthew
opportunity.
Jones asking if they'll ship before Bama. I doubt it, but it's possible.
I hope so.
If he ordered them, yeah, it's close, man. It's possible, but I doubt it. Possible.
Allegedly, there were 50 already ordered.
Spinning rod, lost in tackle. That'll be a spinning rod. The world's not ready for the Rick. The Rick is not ready to do a BFS. And realistically, you guys, designing a BFS is totally different than designing a spinning reel.
We don't know enough
I
about
felt comfortable designing a spinning reel. Very comfortable. I do not feel very comfortable. Sorry, Rod. I do not feel comfortable saying that I can design a great BFS rod. So we didn't do it.
100%.
Would love to, but we didn't.
Yeah. Back to baits for a little bit. That was a great talk on the BFS. So hopefully that was helpful for some of you guys. I know you're talking in chat right now. What do you got?
There was one other question. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I thought it was a great one. I have to go back a bit. It was around combos.
Best budget combo for BFS?
No. It was around which like 3 combos. It's a pretty easy question.
That's a good one.
And someone also asked, so we'll do the 3 combos. I have to find the actual question.
Like
and
which 3 combos you bring in the boat?
Yeah, specific. Like what specific combos should you have? Like technique specific. And then someone asked, why do I need here? Yeah. What fishing rods should you have technique specific? That was one question. Mandy Sanders.
Oh, that's a good one.
Really good question. The other question that kind of went along with it is why, and my first one that I would say for a lot of people actually probably is a crankbait rod. I'll tell you why.
Oh, it's huge.
And then the other side is why the other question I liked was why a crankbait rod. Like a lot of people say that, like, why would I do that? Like, what's the point? Here's the thing about treble hook baits in general. A medium heavy fast is what a lot of people get for their first bait caster, or a medium, like just a medium heavy is what most people are buying.
7 foot
spinning or otherwise.
heavy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are grabbing. That rod is quite a bit stiffer than a moderate action. Moderate action is gonna be a lot slower, so that's like a softer rod tip. What that does for you with a crankbait, one, you're actually going to cast it further. You're going to get further casts. That's really helpful when you're using predominantly a search bait, right? 2, treble hooks. Most crankbaits, 99% of them are going to come with 2 treble baits. When you have that situation, you really want a softer rod, because if the rod's too stiff, you're just giving the fish more leverage to break off, like to kick that bait and spit it out. It happens all the time. So the softer rod tip is actually helping you. You're going to let that do the fish fighting for you. Finally, most of those rods are going to be a little bit longer. That's going to allow you to cast further. That's also going to allow you to have even more fish fighting power with a softer rod. So it's really maximizing your ability to catch treble hook baits. My recommendation, actually, though, if you're a kayak fisherman, and this is something that I started doing way more often, and honestly, this is my new go-to, is instead of getting the medium, heavy, fast, right? Fast action, I go medium, heavy, moderate. That medium, heavy, moderate, as long as it's not super slow, can handle all of your chatterbaits, all of your spinner baits, can handle a lot of jig work, can handle chatterbaits, can handle all of your crankbaits, can handle all of your liplesses, and can handle all of your topwater, like really, really well. That's like 30 or 40% of all the baits you're going to carry. Maybe
a good amount of
60.
tackle.
It's a ton of your tackle box in one rod. So like basically any treble hook bait and then some, all of your chatterbaits and stuff in one rod. Like that's really helping you out and saving you some money. So if you're a kayak fisherman, really consider getting a moderate rod.
If you're running lean, it's especially if you got jerkbait season coming up right now. Like it's a great option to have. And then I would always, like, if you have the opportunity to have more than that, and like it's not the only type of baits that you're throwing, then you're gonna have different rods in lineup. But if you want to have
totally, I'm not saying it's the only one you could ever need, but a lot of people ignore it and they get the medium heavy fast. The medium heavy fast covers like
it can do a lot.
Can
like
cover some of that other stuff, but like not
missing.
as good. Like I feel like it does
this.
Yeah, it does a lot of stuff.
Well, how many fish have you lost on treble hook baits on a fast action rod when you were using the wrong setup? Because I felt
like it was a risk. It
was always a risk. But
I felt like that was a risk.
Do you ever feel at risk with your crankbait setup? Because I don't.
Not at all. No. In a moderate setup, that's my jerkbait setup. Like that's my chatterbait setup. Like I like the medium heavy mod, because the medium heavy has the backbone to handle
bigger stuff, handle bigger
spinner bait,
fish.
buzz bait type fish, but also the slack to handle the trebles. And so that's just a monster in my opinion.
I think it's a good call out. Was there another one? That was
I would definitely. The other thing I think is either two routes I go with the spinning setup, where I go hyper specific, ultra light, but then also, the medium light, man, because the medium light it's that drop shot, that like
light Ned,
like finesse Demiki stuff. So Ned, spinner, like it's just such a huge upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how you like to fish, do that.
100%. So let's kind of close this out with some other, maybe one or two other baits that we want to get
umbrella rigs, man. I really want
the AAA
rig. You know what got me on the umbrella rig, other than the ultralight AAA rig? You know what got me on the umbrella rig? Watching punch fishing just knock them friggin' dead, and also Ben Noack.
I've seen Ben. I've seen Extreme Outdoorsman knock them down.
Those dudes are here.
In my woods. Let's go.
That's big for me. That makes me really want to do that. It just seems like a lot of fun.
Yep. Chaz.
Chaz wants to see the very illegal bait where we use, if you guys are not familiar with the live target bait ball, it is the live target bait ball is a small umbrella rig. It's basically a spinner bait, but it's like a small umbrella rig. It has like 4 little blades and 1 hook in the middle. He wants to see an umbrella rig with all of those as the chandelier. So you'd have like 7 bait balls, and you would throw that instead.
I would invest for the picture, Shaz. So I'll tell you what, I will go buy
until the DNR came to my house. Yes,
I'm gonna buy 5 more bait
now
balls.
They are single hooks, so you could do 4. You could do 4. Maybe
you could do
5
it
in Michigan, so maybe it's legal.
I'm doing it.
Live target bait ball. How much?
Live target. We're gonna get it. We're gonna find it. All right, live target bait ball umbrella rig coming in.
$13 still? You're out of your mind.
No, we'll find it uncleared somewhere. Black market. I don't care what color it is, so we're gonna find it on clearance somewhere.
$6.99 green
discount
pumpkin.
tackle
Warehouse.
Perfect.
Alabama has the same
everything
laws
is
as Michigan.
Alabama. So I mean, if that would be 5, right? We're a 5 hook state, so we could do that. I've got a couple 3 and a couple 5 hooks. 334 said we should bring them down in November. So I'm gonna do it.
I only have like 2 or 3.
A tournament, like a 1-day tournament with high stakes.
Yeah, 1-day tournament's not the
Probably
right
not the best time to learn.
to try and learn something like the A rig.
Are you telling me you wouldn't risk $10K on an A rig? Come on.
These are $13 everywhere.
Stop. We'll look at it somewhere else. We'll find it, you guys. We'll figure it out. That's happening.
What's
we got the A
one?
rigs. We just need a bunch of these bait balls.
What's one for you, Jeff?
I totally agree with the A rig. Is something that's been in my boat a million times. Has never boated a fish though. Yep. Something new. There's stuff I want to learn more. You got spoons on here out deep.
I sure do. I'm big on spoons. I used to be
huge.
I can definitely do it. The problem is big spoons out deep. That's
what I'm saying.
I got nothing for it. It is so
giant.
That's like, you know, when I look to breathe on Mars. Like that's at the same level for me.
I think that you can get some killer bites on there. I would say like that, or even the panorama. Be like, that's not a type of bait that I've ever thrown. That would be really cool. And like, I want to continue. I would say this just to cap it off. I want to continue to get better this year at glide baits, swim baits, and I'll add in Carolina rig and spy baits. Like we've caught on them. We've learned lots of things about them. I want to go out with the purpose and intent to catch more fish on them and get better.
It's just so flipping hard when it's like, you got to make videos and you got like, you just need to do it and suck it up. That's next year is going to be the year for it, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think too, like in chat, you can back me up on this, and then we're going to do a schmiv away in a minute, you guys, but you back me up, chat. Would you watch a video where we completely fail miserably trying to learn a new technique if we just share the frustration with you? Like, is that a watchable vid? Because if it's not watchable, like I don't even want to record it. I just want to go out and learn. But like, you never know if you're going to bang or not. So the camera's always on. The camera's always rolling when we hit the water. It is what it is. But it's I think the question Paul and I ask ourselves on some trips is like, do we want to crawl through this footage? I don't think we do. We had that
so hard to crawl through. Fart.
Look, I'm not doing it.
Darn it.
What do you mean?
Like,
are you suggesting that we say swears?
I suggest that it's impossible. You have no idea how not fun it is to edit out swears.
Well, I will say
sorry. How many times have you edited out a curse word instead of just cutting the whole moment?
Oh yeah, a lot. I will say, as we're editing footage, like to be fair, Paul is 50% better at not swearing than me.
And I am a sailor. I love to curse. I love it.
I will. Yep.
Everyone said yes. Okay, when I post this video of us doing nothing, if it doesn't get the views, I'm coming after every single one.
Mandy says yes now. So if it doesn't get the views, it's Mandy's fault. 100%.
Yes, no. A good answer.
That's where you're wrong, bro, Chacho. I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that crap.
Quality guidance.
I love you guys. All right, let's get into the slow rolling thunder. We'll do a schmiv away after this first question. We got 3 questions for you guys. If you've been here before, you know how it works. If you haven't been, let me tell you. You're going to type chat. You're going to type something into chat. Anything you want, as long as it's polite. You can ask questions if you want to. Throw anything you want in there, and that will enter you in for a chance to win this random draw for $25 to monsterbass.com. Once you have won, we're going to call out your name. You have to say, hi, I'm here and alive and a human person. And if you are, in fact, the human person, we will then have you follow the instructions on the screen so we can give you your money. All right, cool. Everybody good? Neat. Thumbs up in chat. You got it. All right.
B. Dooley did make a good point. He said, if you want to see the swears, just become a member. We do post unedited versions of videos, and there are curses and all sorts of other things.
So if
everyone's fully clothed, but there's a lot of stuff. It's solid.
Okay, they're fully clothed. If your kids watch the channel, then maybe you're gonna have to censor it if you watch the members only stuff. Just heads up. Just heads up. And on members only
Facts.
live, that's the funny thing is members only live. I still don't like to swear on members only live, but Paul will. I'll do the whole time.
Bombs be dropping.
Yep.
All right. So my first question for y'all, and this is a legit question. I am in the market for an 8-speed reel. I want to do a test on something that's specifically an 8-speed. I was thinking Boo, right? But I'd like to know, you guys interested in any reels that come in an 8-speed? Are you interested in anything? So
you don't have that many? I have like 6. Do you want one?
No, I want to test a new one,
Fair
and
enough.
I actually want to test it against the Okuma. That's kind of my intent.
It's
I do
funny,
not
like-
have. I don't have a lot. I think I've got 3 or 4 different 8s. No, I've only got 3 different 8 speeds. Now I
Yeah.
have 5 total, but I've only got 3 different
Yeah.
ones.
It's funny, like each of us will have a hole in
A
like
gap.
the setups, the gap in the setups, and then the other person will have like all of that, but not want to use it. Like,
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
but then we're like, wow, well, we got to try new stuff though. So then we go and order new stuff, and we just pile it up. That's why we do Schmidt voice for you guys. So yeah, an 8-speed. I mean, I'm definitely looking at the Abu. Like that's one that I want to get, and then the Arc Gravity 5 or 7.
They don't come in an 8. I don't think.
Why?
I don't think they do.
Interesting. Would you go with? No, you wouldn't go with the Lose. Did you do
No.
another Tutula, a different one? Or
I
the-
might. There's
Different
so
Shimano.
There's the 7. There
Mhm.
are a lot of Shimano. So Shimano would be probably the other one. So someone said the XT. I'm not in the market for an XT because I have 2 SLXs. So I'm sort of, but the
I'd do the
Curado.
MGL if I was going to do.
Yeah,
something.
MGL I would do like a Corrado. I was thinking like the 150 MGL at 209. I think makes a lot of sense.
Feather says just casual. Get a zillion.
Sure.
dude.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it, you guys, but like it's never gonna happen. The
I love you guys, but
Curado,
we're not doing the reviews on things.
Curado
You watch Punch
300.
Fishing.
Like even Metaniums are still
Yeah.
450. I'm just not interested.
Chat.
I don't think people in general, like they're not buying them, so I don't want to like give you a review
Yeah.
on something you're never gonna buy. Like I'm not gonna get an Alderbaran MGL for $500.
Not the people that watch us. People that watch people like Punch Fishing. will.
That's great for. I mean, that's
Eventually
awesome.
get that.
That's not what we do.
Yeah.
But like the
No.
Curado K at $200, right?
I mean, what's the Corrado that came out though? It's not the K. That's been out. Debo
thought
just did a review on it. There's like a new. I swear to
I
gosh.
thought it was. I think it is. It's the K. It is.
Right, so it's just a new updated K.
Yes,
'cause
and it comes in. There's an 8.5.
I do like the Corrado MGL.
I might do the new K.
Uh,
So Mandy Sanders said the hyperspeed. I'm kind of like, maybe.
I want to do that Lose. They have this one for skipping now. I want to try that.
Yeah.
I would do that. Make
You
skipping
would?
free. Skips are free. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I would. For sure.
Interesting.
I would do that, and then I do one of the new Abus because I definitely want to try those out, like the Revo
Oh.
SX or SLX, or not SLX, whatever. It's the one above the SX, SXT, probably sounds right. Whatever it is. Yeah, the skipping and
They
pumping
don't
one,
come in
funny.
8s. So the standard
you gotta
Abus
go to the
don't come in
Rocket?
8s. Yeah, you have to go to the Revo.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm talking about. The Revos.
Oh, I thought you meant the Max
SX,
X or whatever it
SXT.
was. Yeah,
No.
so the Max X, like those only come in like 7.1, I think is the fastest.
the Burly says the Rocket, man. You get that 10 speed. Let's go.
I don't know if I'm interested in that. I think 9 would be like the absolute max. I think
Yeah.
10, and 8 is reasonable to me. The Revo Rocket, I mean, is that where I
I think
don't know.
that's a 10, I think. Or no, that's the Beast.
That's the
We're
Beast.
talking
I
about
think
a
the-
brand we don't even fish. Like we have no idea.
the Revo, so that was why I wanted to do
Yeah.
it. So the Revo Rocket was the one that I had in mind in terms of like,
That'd be a
okay,
good
maybe
one.
this is the-
This is
maybe
the
that's
new
the
model
one.
this year. Yeah. Yeah. You can just reel slower, it really says.
What? Yeah.
If you get the Beast, you just reel a little bit
Oh,
slower.
you
like-
mean you blink and then
Yeah.
you have to blink slower?
Yep. 100%.
So
All right.
oh god, the Revo Rocket is 330.
Don't be a baby.
That's crazy.
we're gonna mess around with this. But if you guys have any recommendations too, I want to throw this out there. This is actually part of the second question, so we'll get back into that in a second. But if you have anything that you want us to review, you can always just like throw it up in chat here. You can DM us on Instagram. You can shoot us an email. Info at, is it still Burly Fishing? I haven't changed that. Info at
It
Burly
is.
Fishing.
We talked about that.
Well, it's a whole thing to change Google. I want to, but I don't want to deal with that. Anyways, let us know. Give us an idea what you want us to review, because I mean, this is your content, so we make it for you guys. So we want to make stuff that you like. All right, Chaz, let's roll that schmiv away, shall we? Just John. It's not the name. The name is John. So John, you have won.
Members winning. That's my favorite thing ever.
John is a member, so we'll know if it's you. I see your name. You got a purple BF. Oh, the members stuff is also Burly Fishing, bro.
I know.
Man, we got some updates to do.
We do.
So John, you won, man. You just got to be like, hello, I am a human person. And then you will be able to redeem said reward. And if you don't in 2 minutes, we got to skip you. And I don't want to do that because you're a member and you're supporting this channel and we appreciate you. So I'm going to give you a minute. Hey, he said, awesome. Thank you guys. As soon as I said it, I'll give you a minute. Perfect. Follow the instructions on screen. Next question. This is what I need you guys' help for. Chat, help us out. What do you guys want us to talk about on this show? What are some topics that you would like to hear, you're interested in? Is it fishing related or not? Like it could not be related. It's up to you guys. But where do you want these two dweebs, to go with this show? What do you want us to talk about next? Mostly, give me an idea for next week. I'm kidding. Here's how we come up with ideas right now. You guys ready for this? I text Paul and I say podcast. Actually, I usually just say pod, right? On Monday.
Question mark.
On Monday, sometime midday Monday, I'll just go to Paul. Pod? Question mark? And then Paul will say, I don't know, try new baits or try new techniques you said this week. And I was like, great. No, I said sure.
Yeah, always sure.
And cool. Here we are talking about
My favorite is K. That's how I know Jeff's either busy or frustrated. And you just get K.
Okay.
Like, all right, I know how the day's going.
Talk about new techniques. Okay. Fine. Whatever. I don't do I care. I don't even like you.
I know what you're not gonna get is thanks.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. You're the best. Woo!
No. Not on this chat.
Number 2 is number 1.
The vibes are tropical.
Oh no. Did I? Oh, you guys were blowing each other up though. Like you. Yeah, but it was nonstop. And I had like 48 notifications. And I was like, what the hell, you guys? And I had to mute the channel until you knocked it off. Let's look at some topics from chat here. What do we got going? You guys gonna do ice fishing this year? Yes, Feather, but nobody watches it.
Maybe.
So we're not gonna
maybe.
We might. Also, if we have ice, because last year I did 3 hours of ice fishing. How many hours did you did? You fished with your kid, right?
We checked ice. That was it.
You went out on unsafe ice and like just
it was
got a
very
long
bust out. That was it. And Walker still talks about it. He is.
I mean, it was
very. He wants to get out.
I would love to get out too if we have ice.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like
we do.
He's already talked about it multiple times.
That's
like
awesome.
He's already like, we're going ice fishing. Like, you don't understand, bro.
You don't even get it. I love it. How about things we don't want to hear about from Joshua Simonson? I'm tired of croc talk. That sounds like a great podcast. Croc talk? Are you kidding me, Joshua? Now the show is only about crocs.
I'm interested.
You sold me, and you were trying to unsell me.
First episode, croc mods you haven't tried yet.
Bulldozers, headlights. Have you seen the croc mod? Sorry, Joshua, it's happening. You did this. Have you seen the croc mod? That's the toes.
Yeah, I've seen the croc mod. I've seen the croc mod that takes Hoka bottoms and glues croc tops to them. I love that. I thought that was so. Take $200 soles and glue Crocs on top of them.
It's so great. Joshua, what have you done?
Joshua Simonson, crap, my plan failed. Backfired so badly.
This is the opposite of what I wanted.
No.
AAA is dead. Croc Talk is alive, people. Let's go. All the Crocs.
Honestly, well, Jeff, what would you do the podcast about if you could do it about whatever you wanted?
So I had this thought today.
After
actually.
fishing. Like fishing is
well,
not, because it would still be fishing, but for me, but if it wasn't that, what would it be? I already know the answer. I think I know it.
To me, are you thinking it's games?
100%, dude.
It is, but it isn't. So my thought is like, I love aggressively average, right?
Well, yeah.
And
we
I
always
had this
Pokemon.
random.
Mandy Sanders just nailed it. I want to talk about Pokemon Crystal because I'm 20% through.
But I would do that for sure. Cause like I'm not great at games. I'm certainly aggressively average. There's some games I think I could crush the vast majority of people at. But it's like I would go the direction of being aggressively average at like everything. Like go the route of today's show X10 on life.
Yeah.
And it's just like let's go skateboarding. Have you ever been longboarding? Like let's go longboarding. I know you've skateboarded, you've snowboarded, but like I would do something different, you know, and like have fun with
what
that.
I would like to do. I would did you ever see those skateboard? They were longboards that were modified. They had 360 shopping cart, heavy duty shopping cart style wheels in the middle of the truck, and then on either side they had hard plastic balls, and that was how you would get your edge, and that's so you were snowboarding on pavement.
And then Razor made one that's like that, but $20 and
I want one
murdered children's wrists.
I want one so badly.
Yeah,
it hurts. I still have dreams about those.
That's funny. But no, like I would just try things. There
what was that show that they did on ESPN where the guy was like a general like athletic dude, and he would go and try stuff. He'd be like, "All right, give me a crash course in rugby, and then I'll go play a game."
Yeah. There was like Joes versus pros. There was average.
So pros versus Joes.
Something.
Pros versus
Joes is hilarious.
It was such a great show. I really wish they would just have taken the reins off a little bit because they just knew they couldn't because the pros were so much better. The pros were so much. When they brought Dick Butkus on, he never got scored on. It wasn't close either. They could have duct taped his hands to his lips and his feet to the ceiling, and he would have tackled everyone.
Yeah.
Who? Oh, I'm like, what? So Chaz is talking. No one else knows about it, but he's saying that Dick Butkus texted saying he wished like suit me up, put me in the game, coach. I believe it. That guy's a psycho. I mean, I would be 100% down for all that.
I would do that. I would also like the gaming side would be awesome. Oh yeah, because there's games that I just have a blast playing, but I would be happy playing bad games and just like talking about it. There's there's that, there's movies, but then I like people are putting in like disc golf or something, like sports, different things, activities, whatever. Things I've never done. I would have fun doing that. We can make some fun videos.
Everyone wants to, every single person alive wants to be the main character in that show, without a doubt.
Oh, for sure. And then we got like trout fishing, fly fishing. So if it were fishing and we branched out of our bass comfort zone,
I would go way further. I would go to ocean fishing.
Yes.
I'd be like, we're gonna have to move to the coast, and I'm gonna figure out how to catch tuna. I would. This podcast, I would.
This podcast is making bank, baby. Like we're moving now.
No. We're not making a dime. We're losing a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh god. Chaz, are you reading out loud?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead.
This is from Burly.
Okay.
Give us a week in the life of Paul and Jeff. What does your schedule look like? Include some GoPro footage or clips, etc. That way we can see the work involved in the show and your real life.
You don't want
you don't want that, man. I'll give you a rundown of how my day went.
Very disappointing.
I'll give you a rundown of how my day went today, and today was a chill day.
All right, slow rolling thunder. Question 3: how was your day, Paul? Go ahead.
Yep, I was up at 5:50, and my kids both woke up because my wife was getting ready for work and ran the blow dryer like a total jerk. woke up both my kids. So I'm groggy. I went and got them. I made coffee. I played Pokemon for about 30 minutes with my son because he's obsessed with the card game. And then my daughter just climbed on my back the whole time. Then I got them fed. I walked my dog. I went upstairs. I took a shower. There are no breaks. Went upstairs, took a shower.
Regiment
no, this is the same thing every day. Came downstairs, dressed and ready for work. Had about 10 minutes to like get my daughter's lunch packed up, get everyone packed up. I dropped my son off for school. I grabbed a coffee on the way. I worked completely straight through. Usually I work out at lunch. Had way too much work. Left at like 4:40. Picked up my son. We did dinner. We played Pokemon for like 40 minutes because it was raining outside, and he's obsessed. And my daughter lost her and then, they went to bed, and I came right down here. And we're doing the show, and that is like there are very few deviations. Like there's basketball, right, for my son. There's swimming for my kids. There's working out sometimes. There's editing 3 out of 5 nights, and then that's it. Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah. So
that's my whole day.
I'll be briefer, but I did not wake up as early as you because my kids are grown up. They're a little bit bigger. So I got kids that are 10 and going on 8. But we had a fun day. So I always do the school thing in the morning, and then I came in to check that you uploaded a video, and I was like, neat, thanks, Paul. And then I tweaked your thumbnail, and then I changed your title. Not that it means anything, YouTube, you friggin' jerk. Like I just do what seems right. But anyways, so I do that. I had like a 2.5 hour meeting, and then I had a 1 hour call right after that for sales training for people that I do. And then I played Paper Mario on Nintendo Switch because it is on the emulator for Nintendo 64 on
Love
there.
The M's.
So I played that for a little bit. And then I worked out. I had a killer workout. And
hate you.
My kids came home, and then I went to gymnastics, and then gymnastics runs right up until this show. So I came screaming on back in. Oh, my dog ran away when I was trying to go to gymnastics. That was sweet. So we have this game my dog plays with me, you guys, is he runs away through our invisible fence. He's like, yeah, I'll take that shock. Worth it every time. Pieces out. He goes left at the driveway. He goes up the road to our neighbor's house every single time. Same neighbor. Then I get in the car screaming obscenities, scaring my children. And then I scream down the road, and I open my door and I say, get in. And he gets in every time, you guys. Consistency. It's great. It's almost like he's trained, just in a bad way. And then I come right on back. I throw him in the house. I take the kids to gymnastics. I get back here in time, and then we do the show. And that's, you know what?
It's the season of life until they go, probably until they're in high school and they're independent.
Coming soon to our vlog.
Yeah, my vlog, but it would be the same thing with very small deviations. My wife and I, so you add it all up, we get 7 total hours with each other a week, and that includes all of our recharge time to become regular people.
Yep. 100%.
That's it, man.
And then your wife hates me because you and I fish for 6 hours every Saturday or Sunday.
And then, and then after they go to bed, after everyone goes to bed, 9:30, from 9:30 to whenever I'm done, which is usually 11:30 to midnight. That's edit / shorts / edit shorts / I don't know, try and design a t-shirt time. That's
We're
4 nights a week.
Somebody.
Either 3 to 4 nights a week, right?
Yep. 100%. Welcome to the life. There you go.
It would be the worst vlog ever.
Yep. It would be bad. That's why we haven't done it. Burly says we have to. But anyways, arms, back, or legs, Burly asks. Today for me was mostly a pump sesh. It was incline bench. There's a whole bunch of biceps in there for some random reason to keep my arms healthy. And then a modified version of a workout called Cindy, which is, that one. 20-minute AMRAP.
Yep.
But I did ring rows, push-ups, and squats instead of pull-ups.
You don't have shoulders. Oh, really? Do you have room to do that in your basement?
No. I can't do kipping pull-ups in my basement. No. I have to do strict, and it would be hundreds of pull-ups, and I'm not here for
hundreds of strict pull-ups is very difficult.
It is very difficult. So I usually, if I know there's going to be a lot, I don't do it like that. So I either do ring rows or strict pull-ups, and I just cut the number down. Anyways, it was a good workout. Oh my God. the amount of sweat that I left on the floor in the basement.
I'm very jealous. I don't get
great.
to work. It's been so much work. I like miss everything now. It sucks.
Totally.
I'm this close to shifting gears. This close to going back to lifting, Paul.
Yay!
I'm the lightest I've been. I'm the lightest I've been in a long time. I'm 180.
Always got to beef up. Let's go.
189, man.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, Burly, I don't write my own workouts anymore. I'm not.
It's not worth it.
It's
not worth it.
I won't do it. It's so much extra work. So I do this app, NC Fit. Just check it out. They write the price, $20 a month. I just pay. I'm happy to pay for it. As long as I don't have to do it, that's great. Just because you can do the thing, because that's your education, doesn't mean that you should.
Having your workouts prescribed to you is so beneficial because because not even just the work savings, but like the motivation to be like, all right, as long as I just go downstairs in shorts, this workout's gonna get done.
I think that all the time.
I think it all the time. Like all I do is if I just go downstairs or wherever, like as long as I just grab my bag and start walking, the workout will get done. Like, and that's what it is at work. At work, it's like literally, okay, I've got the hour. Even if I should be working, if I pick up the bag, just pick it up. If I pick this up, I'm not going to put it back down. Everyone saw me stand up with the bag. So like they know where I'm going. So yeah, I'm doing the workout.
I will say this. If you have the space, if you don't make the space, put a gym in your house. Like just do it. Just do the thing. Because then it's there. Then you don't have to go anywhere. Because like this is my back. I owned a gym for 6.5 years.
Yeah.
I had a hard time getting myself to my gym, like to work, let alone work out.
It's harder when you work from home. It's way harder.
Like it's so hard to leave. So all I have to do is walk down to the basement, and my shoes, all my equipment are down there. So there's no bag. Yeah. So it's like literally, like you said, put on shorts and then your socks, walk downstairs. Yeah. Put on your damn shoes, do the thing. Oh my gosh, Ralph is here, coming in hot at the tail end. Welcome to the vlog of Fire and Ice of Jeff and Paul. It's fantastic to have you here, Ralph. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. $5, appreciate you. What's up, fellas? Finally off work in time to catch a live. Still looking for a California bass, but
oh man,
like my 6-pound catfish. All right,
I saw that. I saw him do that. Yeah,
that's rad, bro. Nice. You'll get into the bass. You're in the right area. Just hit up some folks that you know in Cali. There's a bunch of them. A bunch of them are members in the nerd crew here. So reach out to them on the Discord. All right, you guys. Yeah. That's all we got for tonight. We did a whole bunch of extra stuff we didn't mean to do. So, Burly, if you're right, this will be our most popular episode of the show.
It won't be.
They're like, stay tuned for the end. The last 28 minutes is a vlog.
It's a vlog.
It's a podcast vlog.
That'll go well.
Anyways, we appreciate you, nerds. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week. We do have a members only live coming up in 2 weeks.
10/10.
10/10. Hard to forget it. 10/10 for October. There are special schmivaways with gear, not gift cards, on those lives. So if you want to learn more, click join below and you can learn about it. We appreciate you. We'll see you next Wednesday. Chaz, take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye?